Good morning from Francisco de Montejo neighborhood. It's about 9:15. We're going on the tour of the Cenotes and the ruinas. We're just leaving our Airbnb right now. Come along for the adventure. The Mayapan archaeological site is located approximately 45 minutes from the city of Mérida. We booked with a local tour fixer named Alex to coordinate our day for us. I'll leave his info linked in the description and would highly recommend his amazing services. On arrival at the Mayapan complex, we decided to book a private tour with one of the knowledgeable guides. This is primarily because my wife TJ is an archaeologist and really wanted an in-depth look at this incredible ancient site. If you're not that interested in the history and archaeology, you don't need a guide and you can go at your own pace. The cost of entry at the time was 65 pesos, or roughly $3.25 US. And the cost of the guide was 500 pesos, approximately 25 US dollars. What struck me the most about the site on arrival was it was almost empty. It seemed to be a magical ancient site that we had completely to ourselves. And that is one of the main reasons I would rank this site as part of the best day trips from Mérida. You don't have to compete with crowds, and there will be no vendors trying to sell you things like most other famous ruinas. You could literally chill and really take it slow and get some great photos without having to wait and navigate through tons of other people. Another perk to this site is that you're able to still climb and explore the structures. The more popular ruinas no longer allow this for preservation purposes. We learned from our guide, Gerardo, that the Mayapan site is actually, in fact, a smaller identical style as the legendary site of Chichen Itza. So you get a similar ruina vibe on a slightly smaller scale. We did visit Chichen Itza and some more incredible ruinas during our 6-month stay in Mexico, so be sure to subscribe to the channel if you're interested in that. This trip to Mayapan was our first visit to an archaeological site in Mexico, and it was honestly such a wonderland for our sons Kenzo and Kai. Imagine having an ancient site that most only read about in books as your kid's playground. Amazing for sure. Definitely an experience you will never forget, and the structures themselves are incredible and full of intricate detail. And we couldn't help but think of this one in particular reminded us of an elephant. Adds to the mystery of the entire Mayapan civilization. So what's up guys, we are here at Mayapan. We're on a tour at the moment with Geraldo. Amazing tour. We're learning so much about the Mayan history here. Right behind me is the circular temple. This site is just a lot chiller, a lot more quiet than places like Chichen Itza, and it's actually a smaller replica of Chichen Itza. So if you are staying in Mérida, highly recommend taking a tour here at Mayapan. Right through there.
And the line pass by here and illuminate the frame.
During the solstice.
The whole kind of
all that.
just perfectly.
So that means that they oriented the lens. Yes, yes.
Come
The
around.
interior of this building is completely solid. No chambers, no houses.
This is solid, just niche.
The niche, inside to the niche, for example, to the other side, we still can. And we are talking about it. Yes, they were using composite.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course.
But maybe they observe maybe some constellation,
Yes.
some star just to be the.
Get the orientation and they know that's north.
That was the way used it. Maybe.
Yeah.
Which one, we don't know.
Yes,
But it's
of
the
course.
most acceptable by the expert.
Maybe. It makes sense. Because stars and things stay at the same point. Like, they always say from north, follow the north star.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll see you, huh?
Thank you so much, Gerardo.
So we just finished the tour with Gerardo. Amazing, great guy. If you are coming to Mayapan, he is one of the tour guides here. Definitely recommend him. They just the tour guides are just standing outside the gate when you enter, and they're very friendly. And our driver actually hooked this up, and he does speak English for those who can't speak Spanish. And right now, behind me is the temple of Kukulkan, and it is an exact replica of the one in Chichen Itza. I believe it's just a little smaller. And yeah, since we're done with the tour, we're gonna go climb it. And the kids are right there with TJ.
Finding shells in the rocks.
They're finding shells in the rocks.
Do you see?
Come and have a look.
Point to it. Do you see? Shell right there.
Oh, okay, hold on. I want to see that.
There, and this here, and here.
Kai, show
It's very small. And here are the outlines.
me, Kai. Show me.
Look at that one. Look at my book, Papa, right?
Like in your book, yeah.
I'm here at the foot of the Pyramid of Kukulkan in Mayapan at the Yucatan. Hey, that all rhymes.
Good sweat. I'm in good sweat. Oh, look at that.
Right now, behind me is the temple of Kukulkan, and it is an exact replica.
Have a cool mask.
Coming.
Hey, I
Maybe
found
give
a
it
big
a rest.
shell. I found a big seashell.
Okay, you need
This is normal. Those.
raptor.
Yeah.
Look at this view.
Okay, we're about halfway up, and it's actually very steep. So just be careful if you are climbing. We went up the safest side, which is, I believe, the west side. Gerardo said. Oh, they're at the top. Okay, and yeah, I'm not the best with heights, but you know, I just pushed through, and this is magical. But yeah, just be careful when you're climbing up, and the stairs are very narrow. But let's go to the top and check it out. When we got to the top of the main pyramid, I felt some amazing energy. It was the first time in a very long time that I felt the spirit of my father with me. It's difficult to put into words. As a family, we had recently gone through a lot of stress and trauma leaving our home base of Melbourne, Australia. I'll leave a link in the description to a previous video that shows more of this backstory, if you're interested. As the wind started to pick up and the sun peeked through the fluffy white clouds, we got a complete 360-degree view of the area. You realize that you are in the middle of an unforgiving jungle, almost cut off from the rest of the world. A therapeutic feeling for us, to say the least. And you start to ask yourself some questions like, why did the Maya choose this location? How did they build such an incredible city with enormous stones that originated from the coast? And what do the details and intricacies of it all mean? There's so much to wrap your head around. And being there in that moment in time as a family is something that helped us to begin to heal. And our boys had an absolute blast running around and exploring the top of the pyramid. We stopped to have some water and a few snacks and really could never get over the fact that we made it. Seeing the Mayapan site from the top, you start to imagine what it must have been like as an active city. And even though our visit lasted hours, I could definitely spend more time absorbing the magic of this place. We're about to go to some cenotes after this, but wow, we're really just taking this in right now, and it's an amazing adventure, and especially for TJ, being the archaeologist and just taking the kids here. It's beautiful.
So just to the side of the Pyramid of Kukulkan, I've been told this area here is another structure, but it's covered. So here's part of a structure that's still covered with vegetation.
So we've spent a couple hours here at Mayapan. Time for the next part of the trip, which is actually Santa Barbara, also known as the Hamun Cenotes. I think it's about an hour away or so. We've spent a couple hours here. It's been amazing. Got some good footage. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and let's keep this adventure going. And whether you're traveling the world or running the gauntlet of a 9-to-5, it's important to boost your overall health and immunity. That's why my family and I all take Juice Plus nutritional support daily, organic and GMO-free, packed with an assortment of whole superfoods, available in capsules, delicious powder shakes, and awesome gummies. It's never too early to start taking care of your temple. Click the link in the description for more details. Each order directly supports the channel and supports your health. So after leaving Mayapan, Alex drove us the 45 minutes or so towards Hamun. We were headed to the Santa Barbara restaurant and cenotes. It's such a rush to be zipping through the jungles of the Yucatan with your loved ones, especially with someone like Alex, who has lived in Mérida his whole life and knew all the gems that most tourists would never even know about. Along the way, we passed the town of Acanque, which also had some more ruinas. Alex offered to stop and let us check out this site as well, but we thought it wouldn't be fair to our sons, who'd already endured hours in the jungle heat at Mayapan. Acanque is located even closer to Mérida, in the middle of a small pueblo of the same name. So it might be worth a visit for any ruina addicts out there. TJ and I really want to go back and check this one out. And this brings me to the fact that there are so many ruinas and cenotes to explore in this part of Mexico. And where we were headed, the pueblo of Humun, was known for fantastic cenotes in close proximity to Mérida. And as we would soon find out, fantastic food. We arrived at the Santa Barbara restaurant, and there weren't too many other tourists there, just a few modest tables. And after spending the morning at Mayapan, you bet we were famished and craving the comfort food properties of the Yucatecan cuisine. And oh man, we were not disappointed. The food there ended up being the absolute best Yucatecan cuisine we ever had during our entire 6-month stay in Mexico. Our fixer, Alex, also said that this was his favorite Yucatecan restaurant. We're at the Santa Barbara Cenotes and restaurant, also known as Homon, and we just got our food right now, and we're gonna tuck in right now. The tortillas are to come, but and we're gonna eat right now, and then after we're gonna go check out the cenotes and get a dip. It's actually pretty humid, but still very pleasant weather right now. I think Kenzo's had a little too much sun, so he's having a little rest right now. Kai had a nap. Having fun, guys?
Yeah.
And the food is so good here. We're really enjoying this Yucatecan cuisine. I've got the cochinita pibil. I've been destroying it already. The kids been eating the breaded chicken with rice and beans. And TJ had the sopas,
which
lima,
is so good.
And some, what are those,
Some
two empanadas?
They're so hot, so I haven't bitten into one yet. But we're really loving the soup.
Me too.
So great. Delicious food. Highly recommend you try Yucatecan cuisine.
Papa, come on, let's go.
Follow you?
We're in the first cenote and we have it all to ourselves. It's amazing. They have lights inside as well, so you can still see. We just saw some fish. There's definitely like a sacred kind of energy in here for sure, and the water feels so pure, like mineral water, like you're at a cool hot springs basically. And the acoustics in here are great, and we're still the only ones in here.
Good job. Come this way.
Let's go to the other one. Are you showing the floor?
Yeah.
We're just gonna go on this side. See, kick your legs, guys. Kick your legs. You can go like this and kick your legs like this.
It was both magical and terrifying entering our first cenote, primarily because there was no one else around and we weren't sure what to make of it at first. I couldn't help but think there would be a crocodile or some kind of ancient monster that would drag us to the bottom. Perhaps some sunken treasures and sacrificial skeletons to boot. But any apprehension we had about the cenote quickly evaporated as we began to splash around and explore as a family. And Alex was nearby taking photos for us and guiding us along our way. I definitely would have been more freaked out if he wasn't there. The Santa Barbara cenotes are an experience of 3 different types of cenotes. The first one is Cascabel, and it is a true underground cave-like setting. It's also the smallest of the 3 cenotes, so good intro to the site. Lights are a necessity, or else it would be very dark and impossible to see. The 3 cenotes are all within walking distance of each other and are easy to get to. The second cenote is Chaksankin and has a much wider and accommodating entrance. This allows for sunlight to come in more directly to the mouth of the cenote, and you get some very beautiful dark hues of shimmering bluish green water. And there are a couple of other holes in the roof of this cenote which make for some beautiful reflections from the sun. And again, to our amazement, we had it all to ourselves. I will say that upon jumping into this cenote, we immediately started to feel some small fish nibbling on us. Sounds freakier than it really is, but we just got used to it. It wasn't like being swarmed or anything, but just something to expect when you jump into an ancient body of water. By this point, the boys had built up some impressive confidence and were really enjoying swimming around. We were having the time of our lives, and if I didn't film it, I would almost question if this experience even happened at all. Or was it all just a dream? The aerial vines and stalactites were also immense and quite impressive. Looking up from the water to the top of the staircase and entrance of Chaksankin, you begin to feel very tiny. And I began to wonder how the ancient Maya were able to access this waterhole, or if perhaps this was just a one-way ticket to the underworld. In any case, it was serving as a family vacation destination of fun and excitement. The waters are cool and refreshing. They offer a much-needed relief from the scorching tropical heat.
Everybody, listen up. This is the dark tunnel that we're going in. It has
The monkey in there?
Yeah.
And surprise, surprise, we had the last cenote to ourselves too. Completely amazing. And Cenote Such was the most spectacular of all the cenotes at Santa Barbara, in my opinion. By now, both our boys, Kenzo and Kai, were completely comfortable with cenotes, and given the fantastic opening of Such, there was plenty of natural light. It was getting close to closing time and sunset, so we only had about 15 to 20 minutes to enjoy this final cenote. It appeared to also be much deeper than the previous 2 cenotes. The tree at the mouth of the cenote really makes it much cooler. And I will plug that our tour fixer Alex is also a great photographer, and he threw in some photos of us that we will cherish for the rest of our days. I will leave his info linked in the bottom and would highly recommend his services. Super friendly and knowledgeable guy. He fixes tours and photography all over the Yucatan Peninsula and even offers transportation pickup and drop-off services from the Yucatan to Quintana Roo. We actually hired him in a later trip to pick us up in Playa del Carmen to bring us back to Mérida. You'll see that in an upcoming vlog, so be sure to subscribe to the channel. As we rode the horse cart back to the entrance and raced the setting sun, I couldn't believe at the magical day we had just embarked on as a family. We highly recommend Santa Barbara Restaurant and Cenotes. We felt so blessed to have the place to ourselves. There are bike rentals also available for the more adventurous. I prefer the horse cart just because we have small kids, but this may be a cool option for others. I just want to say thank you to Alex for putting this all together, and thank you for watching this video all the way to the end. We basically got cleaned up and changed after this, departed back to Mérida, and ended our perfect day with a local favorite of ours, Little Caesars. Well, I hope you found some value from this video, and remember that travel and experiences are so important. Hope this inspires someone out there to go on a trip. Until next time, stay blessed and sun-kissed.